Hi, this is an excerpt from Sisters in Arms. I smiled at him, and it was just a nice smile, clearly not flirtatious. And he smiled back at me, and it clearly was flirtatious. And he spoke to me, Saya said, passing the beer bottles to us, in English. In English, I laughed, taking the 2 bottles and passing one to Hanny. How considerate. Hanny laughed as well, albeit a little uncertainly, gave the bottle back to me, and held out her lighter. The only smoker out of the 3 of us, she had the necessary equipment, but no idea how to open a bottle with it. I gave her the open bottle back, clinked mine against it, and said, I bet he had a thick German accent as well. I imitated a thick German accent by saying something in English. I did it twice in a row, so that we could clink bottles and giggle twice, an initial awkward giggle, the kind you let out when you've laughed together plenty before, but haven't seen each other for a long time. His English not only had a thick German accent, it was also full of mistakes, of course, Saya went on, resting her chin on her bent knees and looking out over the city. That's the most embarrassing thing about these people who think they have to speak English to us. They can't even do it. It's okay to speak bad English, though, isn't it? Said Honey, whose English wasn't so good either, of course. And to be honest, nor was mine. Honey's wasn't good because she'd been to a bad school, and in my case, it was because I'd never needed it before I moved to this city, where it was good manners to start speaking English straight away when a foreigner came to hang out with you. Saya's English was world-class. She'd only found a use for it after school too, but then she'd travelled around the world with it, lived in this metropolis and that, had relationships, done a degree. No one has to be able to speak English, I know that, she said now, but that's the really weird thing about these people. If you're not that good at something, then you wait and see if you actually need to do it or not, don't you? You don't just start babbling away at poor defenceless people. Guys like him think our German must be so non-existent that their abysmal English is a better way to communicate with us. And what did he say? I asked. Did you answer in German? No way, said Saya. The flight was an hour and a half, and he was sitting right next to me. If I'd answered in German, I would have had to talk to him for longer. I said in English that my English wasn't very good. And then he just looked really sympathetic and smiled. And what if he was simply a nice person and was just trying to accommodate you, Hanny asked, looking out at the city too, or rather over it, as if somewhere beyond its roofs and church towers lay the proof that people only ever mean well. You were on a plane, after all. You never know who comes from where. He might have spoken to you in German if he'd met you on the street. I'm sure he just wanted to chat. Yeah, whatever, but this story isn't over yet, said Saya. And if you want to hear the rest of Saya's story and loads of other great stuff, head to sandjournal.com to order your copy of Sand 23.